We are
We are so much more.
than an energy company.
We are connectors.
Community protectors.
And clean energy leaders.
We are
Job creators.
friends and neighbors.
stewards of your dollars.
And savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy.
Behind your everyday.
And we are.
Obsessively.
Relentlessly.
At your service.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present this amazing state tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders, it's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on a successful year, and remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
Good morning as we wrap up the morning tip times here from Wells Fargo Arena. It's the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Basketball Tournament 2022 style here from Des Moines and Wells Fargo Arena as we begin and flip over to Class 4A. It'll be Laura Leonard and Paul Yeager here on the call from this game. Laura, we're a little out of order, so we go back to the bigger schools, but we just saw a game where it would have easily been a 4A game in the past, but we put now two 4A schools. It's number 1 seed Dallas Center Grimes against the 8th seed Benton Community Bobcats. And Laura, as we look at DCG, this is a team, 3 losses. They have a couple against some very good programs. They've had a great season. Why not extend it at the state tournament?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I think we're seeing more and more in the state that a lot of these lower class teams will schedule up. They're going to go maybe sometimes out of state and play some teams. And so they just want to schedule a little bit tougher. They want to test their teams and get them ready to be able to come to this state tournament and, you're right, extend the season a little bit longer.
The Benton Bobcats play, they just think their conference is tough enough because they provided a lot of teams here this season, and this is how the two squads got to Wells Fargo Arena as we look at our road to state for Benton Community. They are 19-5. They knocked out Grinnell, who's played on this floor a number of times. They're only allowing 38 points a game, which is third best in 4A, shooting well from 3, and they've won 12 of their last 14. One of those losses was against this DCG team. We'll watch Jenna Tweet and her 19 points game. But here's DCG 20-3. They knocked out ADM to get to state. They're only allowing 33 points a game. So two great defending teams, 43% from the field. They're on a 14-game winning streak. Emma Miner is the player we're going to watch a lot today here, Laura. So we talk about a big stage and a big opportunity. Yesterday in Class 3A, we almost had number 8 beat number 1. If you're DCG or Benton, are you pointing to that game for your specific purpose, saying, hey, it can be done, or look out, it can be done?
Yeah, and I think you look at that and you kind of know, okay, anything can happen here at the tournament on the Wells Fargo floor, and I just think that if you're number 1, you're going to have a target on your back, and definitely everybody's going to be coming after you. But yes, I think you point to it, but then you look at the business at hand, you look at your scouting report, and you say, okay, we know how to take care of business here. We've played them before, and we know what we need to do and what adjustments we need to make.
Speaking of scouting reports, when we come back, Laura Leonard will give you her seeds for success as we continue our pregame show in this Class 4A state tournament game. Coming up next, it's Benton and Dallas Center Grimes from Wells Fargo Arena.
Inside Casey's. Outside Casey's. Inside Casey's. Outside Casey's. Inside. Outside. Inside. Outside. Inside. Outside. Order for curbside pickup this winter, and we'll bring your delicious Casey's Pizza order outside so you can stay inside. Now at Casey's, buy one large pizza, get one half off. Casey's, here for staying inside. Here for good.
It's Fairway Family Food.
Name one reason more people choose to shop at Fairway.
Lower prices.
Name something that Fairway is famous for.
The best meat in town.
Services!
Don't play games with your food. Shop Fairway for the best meat in town.
With lower prices and higher quality, everyone's a winner at Fairway.
Until next time, this is Fairway Family Food.
Class 4A quarterfinal, game number 1 of the 4A bracket about to take place between Dallas Center Grimes and the Benton Bobcats. Let's take a look at your Cougar seeds for success, Laura Leonard. Let's start with number 1, Dallas Center Grimes. What do the Mustangs need to do today? What do you see as their seeds?
Well, I think they're going to put a little pressure on to start to see if they can rattle this Benton team and get out and maybe show some different looks, but they're going to pressure, try to get some turnovers, and they need to take care of the ball. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. When you get to the state tournament, every possession is valuable, but you certainly have to take care of the ball every time you have it in your possession. And then for Benton, they need to have that strong start, and I think that goes back to what you were talking about is, okay, there's a shot. We made it to state. Have that in the back of your mind. You can knock off anybody at any given time, and so have that mindset, but get off to a good start. And I think you're going to see them change up some defenses. You're going to, again, see some different looks. Both these teams very defensive-minded. And so I think you're going to see something, maybe some surprises as we go throughout this game.
You bring up 2 points that I want to get to. Let's look at Class 5A yesterday, where we didn't see anybody get over 50 points in the first 3 games, and then we finally saw Waterloo West break through. A lot of defenses. Also in that was a lot of matchups where the two teams had played each other during the regular season. Let's go back to December 4th. Benton and Dallas Center Grimes met. DCG won 60-27. I always ask the coaches, say they were in the title game the year before. Did you watch that game before? If you're Coach Jeff Zittigren of Benton Community, do you watch that tape from December 4th, knowing it's the same squad? Or do you just say, ladies, we are a completely different team right now?
I think you watch it because you can find tendencies of players and certain things. Does the post player always turn over their right shoulder or their left shoulder? How can we defend that? Is somebody a little bit more right-handed, and do they start their offense to the right side of the floor? So I think you see tendencies, but then I also think that you just go, okay, it's state tournament, it's a new season, let's get after them.
I get so excited for the game, Laura. I forget I have to say that today's Seeds for Success were brought to you by Cougar Seeds. The next time you're in need of corn or soybean seed, give your local Cougar Seeds dealer a call. Cougar Seeds, first-class seed, first-name service. Learn more at CougarSeed.com. Introductions, lineups, the opening tip coming your way right after this.
We are
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
Job creators.
Friends and neighbors.
stewards of your dollars.
and savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy.
behind your everyday.
and we are
Obsessively.
Relentlessly.
At your service.
show our appreciation to all the women who have participated in high school athletics in Iowa. Once an Iowa girl, always an Iowa girl. Fans, at this time, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and the Iowa Farm Bureau would like to recognize the outstanding sportsmanship shown by Benton Community and Dallas Center Grimes High Schools. In recognition of the importance of good sportsmanship, each state qualifying school was asked to nominate a spectator who represents their school and community in a sportsmanlike manner. Shanna Cleve of Independence, a member of the IGHSAU Student Athlete Advisory Committee, will present each nominee with a certificate of recognition and a $250 check payable to their school's scholarship fund. Please join us in honoring these individuals whose decorum and respect for others serves as a model for all spectators attending interscholastic events. From Benton Community, Carrie Turo. And from Dallas Center Grimes, Brad Bailiff. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union promotes good sportsmanship by participants, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants, officials, and spectators in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or abusive comments, or intimidating actions directed at officials, participants, coaches, team representatives, or event personnel will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. We thank you for your cooperation and invite you to enjoy the game.
The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union encourages positive behavior.
Pride, respect, leadership, and sportsmanship on the court and in the stands.
Remember what a great privilege it is to see your team compete.
Thank you for your attendance. Enjoy the game.
And enjoy the game.
Fans, it's now time to introduce players in today's 4A quarterfinal matchup. First of all, here are your non-starters for the Benton Community Bobcats. Number 2, Laura Jungi. Number 4, Kennedy Donald. Number 5, Emma Van Ossen. Number 11, Piper Nelson. Number 14, Addison Phillips. Number 15, Tatum Schroeder. Number 20, Alyssa Tegeler. Number 30, Hannah Greiner. Number 32, Anna Gleve. Number 34, Jessa DeMoss. Your assistant coaches, Justin Little, Jeremy Suter, and Mackenzie Banasic. And now let's meet your non-starters for the Dallas Center Grimes Mustangs. Number 2, Olivia Valine. Number 10, Samantha York. Number 14, Kaylin Petrak. Number 20, Aubrey Johansson. Number 22, Kayla Rice. Number 24, Finley Fitzgerald. Number 30, Alexa Henricks. Number 32, Kylie Lahaz. Number 40, Jill Jensen. And number 44, Josie Lampy. Your assistant coaches, Judy Nisley, Rich Kloster, Jalen Raymond, and Jacob Heineman. And now it's time to meet your starters for this 4A quarterfinal. For Benton Community at guard, a 5'7" sophomore, number 3, Emma Townsley. For Dallas Center Grimes at guard, a 5'5" senior, number 4, Avery Corshing. For the Bobcats at guard, a 5'7" sophomore, number 12, McKenna Kramer. For the Mustangs at guard, a 5'10" sophomore, number 12, Vanessa Bickford. At guard for Benton Community, a 5'8" junior, number 21, Jenna Tweet. For Dallas Center Grimes at guard, a 5'8" senior, number 34, Ella Lempe. For the Bobcats at forward, a 5'7" sophomore, number 23, Zoe Jungi. For the Mustangs at forward, a 5'6" senior, number 42, Elle Nelson. And for Benton Community at guard, a 5'7" senior, number 25, Grace Embritson. For Dallas Center Grimes at forward, a 6' junior, number 50, Emma Miner. Head coach for the Bobcats, Jeff Zittergruen, and for the Mustangs, Adam Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn attention to the area in front of the scorer's bench for today's officials as assigned to this 4A quarterfinal by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Jeff Lucas, Bill Mock, and Jesse Freiberger. All right, who's ready for state tournament basketball?
We'd like to once again thank Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, for their support. The Iowa Farm Bureau has an office located in each county across Iowa, and we'd like to thank the offices listed on your screen for their support of the two teams playing in our game today. Thank you, Iowa Farm Bureau, for supporting the IGHSAU and the Iowa Girl. Dallas Center Grimes in white, Benton Community in black. The opening tip, and we are underway from Wells Fargo Arena in Class 4A, game number 1 of 4 today. DCG on the front, just north and west of here, about 25 minutes at most. Benton Community, just west of Cedar Rapids. Off of Highway 33 in the corner is good right away, Elle Nelson.
What a great setup and a very patient start to this ball game. They ran through the offense a couple of different times and got the dribble penetration.
And now a steal from the pressure by DCG. And getting the credit is Miner for the reception, but that was done up front. So DCG gets the first look at the basket, and they're going to get another one before Benton even gets it into their half of the court.
And that's where that pressure comes from. You're going to try to change the game. You're going to try to speed up your opponent.
Not the same answer for Nelson this time, but a whistle on the rebound on the floor, as in position for it was Zoe Jungi, and it will go back to Benton Community.
That's a couple of times they've been able to get Nelson open on the right wing, and she knocked the first one down as they got the kick out from the dribble penetration. This time not as successful.
Kramer steps on the line before she's able to find a teammate. It'll be another turnover thanks to the DCG pressure.
And it's as soon as they get over half court, they are directing them to a sideline, and they're putting the double team on.
We were about to have a couple of players in our lap. They were so close.
Could have done a quick interview.
Hey, what do you think so far? Game plan working? Wait a minute, that was a yes or no question. I need to work on that.
Right, yeah. Well, that's about all we would have had time for, though, is yes or no.
Around the perimeter, Miner drives, kicks out. Bickford. Nelson's taken both shots so far. She's 1 of 2.
You can tell that the Mustangs are just very patient. They want to make sure that they're getting the best look possible. Got a nice screen that time by Miner to be able to drive around that, and here comes that pressure again.
Lampy gets the bucket, and now the Bobcats finally get it past the three-point line. 3 on the way, good! Jenna Tweed says we don't need to spend much time on our end of the court if we can do that.
And you know, the thing that they did that time, they got the ball to the middle, and then here comes the quick answer on the other end. So, you know, initially the first minute or so of this ball game was all defense. Now it's turning into a little bit of a shootout.
Emma Miner, now a steal. That's Bickford with the left and the deuce. This pace has changed quickly. 10-3, Dallas Center Grimes.
It has, and you got to step to those passes. And they're not doing that right now. They're telegraphing the passes, and that's allowing the Mustangs to jump the passing lane. Maybe give a little ball fake, get them to go after that pass, and then find the ball and get it into the middle, and then you have options.
Ella Lampy knocked it away, and now she'll come to work on defense on the front of that pressure. Embritson. 3 on the way. No for Tweet. Rebound Bobcats for a moment, but then taken away by Nelson.
Yeah, really nice rebound by Townsley.
And a timeout, Benton, as it's now a 12-3 run out for DCG.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors.
Community protectors.
And clean energy leaders.
We are
Job creators.
Friends and neighbors.
Stewards of your dollars
and savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
Did you take my water? DCG with the run out here, 12-3, as Ella Lampy got the bucket right before we went to break, Laura. All right, so quickly, things can get away from you here at the state tournament. What's DCG doing?
What they're doing is this pressure. It's a 1-2-2. They're really putting Benton in some positions where it's making it very difficult, and they're not adjusting to that. Benton needs to get some ball fakes, not dribble into the pressure and not dribble into the traps, and that's causing the problems. Now, when they get out of that, they've been able to set their offense and get some good looks.
Benton trying to move the basketball around the outside, but man, there's a Mustang in every move. Nice move by Townsley to free up and get a good look, but it won't fall. Up ahead quickly, DCG, and then stolen away. Jenna Tweet. She splits the defense for a moment and then loses the handle. Now we're going to have a reach on Townsley. Laura, how many times have we seen it where if a team puts pressure, it just accelerates that other team, amplified a little bit more on this court?
Yeah, and you got a little more room to work with, so you do have to cover a little bit more of a surface area with your press and your pressure, but I think just speeding up the other team causes them play at a level that they're not accustomed to.
DCG has been to the state tournament before. Benton, it's been a little bit. Catch in motion and shoot, all in one stride, is Finley Fitzgerald, and she gets her first bucket.
Yeah, no defensive rotation that time as she made that nice cut down the lane right to the basket. Didn't even have to put it on the floor.
3 in the corner, shot and good. Jungi. Both buckets for the Lady Cats coming via the 3.
Well, and that's how they're going to stay in this ball game, I think. I think if they can get the ball rotation and get the open looks from beyond the arc, they're a pretty good three-point shooting team. They can cut into that lead fairly quickly.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Knocked away, Piper Nelson. As a couple of substitutions, McKenna Kramer comes back in for the first time, comes back in. All the substitutions are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Also in for DCG was Josie Lampy coming in at that horn. Bickford now into the corner to Minor. Shot blocked, and Benton Community comes away with it.
See, when they don't score, they don't have a chance to set up that pressure, and then it gives Benton some time to be able to get into that front court and get things set.
Tweet drives and gets the shot to fall.
Wow, that's just going into the teeth of the defense. An off-balance shot, got the friendly roll off the rim.
Back out front. Bickford with the basketball. Backs it out for a moment. Fitzgerald now back out Bickford. 3 from the left hand shot is good.
You could see the defense just congregate around the low block and double team Fitzgerald down there, and she was able to make the pivot and kick it back out to the open shooter.
17-8. Kick to the left side now. Kramer. Now Jungi. Jungi pulls, or Embritson. That's Kramer. She's harassed way out front. Getting close to that 5 count as she wasn't making progress towards the basketball because of Bickford.
Need to get a couple of screens to try to help one another out. Try to pick off this defense a little bit to give your teammate an opening.
Can you beat a defense like this by dribbling, or is it more through a passing
attack?
Well,
I think that if you have the ability to have that quick first step and that blow-by ability, yes, you can beat it by the dribble drive, but right now I haven't seen that with these players to be able to get that first step on this defense.
Kramer launches a long one, and it's off to the right side, and DCG left-handed run shot by Bickford. Wow.
Wow, just looking up, eyes ahead, seeing what the defense was doing and able to navigate her way through it, as we see right there with another great move by Jenna Tweet.
All right, so maybe we're going to have ourselves a game. Back to a 9-point advantage for DCG.
You know, you have to figure you're in the back half and almost to the end of this first quarter, and Benton can kind of go, okay, we've survived that first wave, and we're still right there. So now it's a 3-quarter game for them, and they have to win the next 3 quarters.
Yep, Miner just got a little excited. So now, you know, here's a chance for Benton now. If you could have said that we're only going to be down 7 or maybe 6 if we hit this 3 in the final 6.9 seconds, you really got to feel good. The other side, if you miss the shot, you're only down 9. So it's probably a win right here for Benton.
I'm not sure they're aware of the clock.
The 3 is on the way. Good if it goes, but it falls out of the basket for Zoe Jungi. We've played one. Dallas Center Grimes lead by 9.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars
and savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
Des Moines. The S's are silent. The fun is always loud. And now it's easy to plan your Des Moines adventure. Introducing the Catch List. A list of all things you can't miss. All the thrills, all the chills, hops and drops. Des Moines is a city of love that'll put a smile on your face. It's easy to picture yourself here. Find your adventure at catchdesmoines.com/catchlist today.
Central College has a new tuition price of just $18,600. That means the college experience that opens doors for a lifetime is now more affordable than ever, and scholarships are still available. Apply today at central.edu. 3 ball from Benton, and McKenna Kramer misses, and DCG quickly up ahead to their side of the court, which is on the right side of your screen, as DCG in the white jerseys, as they are the top seed in 4A. They're designated home team. 3 on the way and good. Emma Miner, her second 3 of the game.
Miner is such a versatile type of player. She can go inside, but showing the great range from the outside, and she's got a really nice looking shot. Good, quick catch and release type of motion.
Averages 14, she now has 6. Both of them via the 3. That's versatility.
And she certainly has the height and the body to be able to go inside and post up and create some mismatches down low.
3 from the left side is off the mark by Jungi. Rebound goes back to DCG. Avery Korshing comes back in for DCG at that exchange. 22-10, 6:50 to go in this first half of play where it's been DCG, but Benton is hanging tough.
You know, and you look at this DCG lineup and you look at the statistics and the games played, everybody gets into the ball game. I mean, they play a lot of players, but that kind of goes along with the style that they play. They play an up-tempo, three-quarter court, half-court pressing type of defense, and so you want fresh legs in there all the time.
Jungie with it, brings it back after losing the handle for a moment. Three looks good from here, but it was short by Tweet.
Yeah, it did look. We had a great look at it. I thought that was all the way through to the bottom of the net, just came up a little bit short. And sometimes these two teams have not really had that much issue shooting the basketball till right then. But, you know, maybe a little bit different background for some of these players. And once you get used to it and adjusted, everything kind of heats up in the second half.
Driving to the basket is Bickford, and she's got it taken away. Here come the Bobcats, 2-on-2. It's one of their best numbers. Kick to the right side, three on the way. Townsley!
That's a glimpse of what Benton can do when they can get out and run, and there's a turnover and a chance to capitalize.
Korshing a little hot before her shot or dribble. 5:40 to go, back to a 9-point advantage. Bobcats looking to cut into this lead. You got to score, then you got to stop. Now it's the next part of that. Can you get another score?
Yeah, and obviously the stops are the most important part of the whole thing. But you've got to be able to score to be able to set up your defense. We've seen the Mustangs be able to do that. They've been able to score. That allows them to set the defense. Same thing is true for Benton Community. They've got to be able to put the ball through the hoop and get that defense set.
Vanessa Bickford whistled for the foul. Ball's going to stay with. Oh, it's going to flip over. First he pointed out to where it was going. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's DCG's basketball.
And those are the frustrating turnovers for a coach when you have the opportunity, you have the baseline out of bounds, and you have the turnover.
Bickford, now Korshing, thinks about the three. Will drive again and try to create. High off the glass, short. Grabbing the loose ball was Jenna Tweet. Up ahead, behind the defense. Nelson just couldn't quite get that shot to fall, and up ahead come the Phillies, or the Mustangs, sorry, old habits. Three, no! For Lampy, and again Benton after the one and done. Three, short by Tweet, and it'll go back to DCG. It was Phillies for a number of years.
Yes, it was.
And then with the logo change, they went from Phillies to Mustangs. That's the story.
I know it's hard to change when you're used to something that has been that way, and then the school changes the mascot, the name, the logo, whatever. It's hard to adjust after a while.
Well, Mason City's going to have that change. Marion's going to have that change. Nice back cut, door cut. Finley Fitzgerald.
That's what you call a drop step. She just dips in one way over the right shoulder, big drop step around the defense and left them standing.
Townsley way out, pulls up her dribble, and she'll get some attention. Tegler. Three way out, gonna be short from Kramer. A lot of sophomores on this team. They start three. Townsley, Kramer, and Jungie. Three sophomores. There's some who follow this program thinking maybe Benton was a year away. Any experience is good experience at the state tournament, but Benton is looking to make a name for themselves. They're hanging with number one Dallas Center Grimes right now, down by 11, trying to keep it close here.
And you look at the lineup and even into next year, and I know you don't want to look at next year all of a sudden here when you're playing for the state tournament, but they return most of their scoring for next year. They've got a lot of firepower, and they're going to be tough again in the coming years.
DCG gets another chance. 3 on the way from Nelson. No. And that's going to be a foul on Finley Fitzgerald. She was out of step, out of place there.
Really good box out, too, to be able to get that foul on Fitzgerald.
.320 to play before half. Here come the Bobcats. Townsley drives in, kicks. Jungi. Back to Kramer, 3. They're going to keep shooting, and that time it falls.
I think that when they can get set and they run that offense and get the looks that they want, then they're going to be able to knock. They're good shooters. They shoot a really good percentage. They just haven't been able to get into that consistent rhythm.
Caitlin Clark called. She wants both of those shots right there. She'll take them in those long distance
I'm sure these players could teach her a lot of things. She needs a lot of work on her game.
But I bring up that point for a reason, Laura, is the evolution of the shot you've seen it in boys play, but the girls play, there's a lot of them shooting a lot of threes. Nobody's afraid to take that shot anymore. Nobody's
afraid, and they practice it, and then we see another one let fly, and that's a big bucket for Kramer. It brings them a little bit closer.
Back-to-back threes for Kramer. Back to a 5-point advantage for DCG. They got to answer. Nice give and go. Shot won't go from Lampe. Then she kicks it back out, and there's the 3 ball to her sister, Ella Lampe.
Had the opportunity to try to power it up through defenders. Instead, looks outside and finds an open teammate. Go back to the evolution of the three-point shot and how pretty much doesn't matter really who you are right on cue, whether you're a big or you're a 3 or a 4 or you're a point guard or a wing, whatever the terminology that these coaches use. I still think that there is need in this game for the mid-range jumper, and it can't just be inside and the three-point shot. You've got to have those players that can pull up and shoot the mid-range jumper, and I see it kind of sneaking back into the game. I wish it were there a little bit more, but I think that is a very, very valuable weapon to have.
Well, there's a look at the analytics side of things saying that that's not the shot we want. 3 on the way. That's the shot you want. As Minor now with 9. And analytics, we both cover softball. It's in softball and baseball. Analytics has come into basketball, and there's that discussion of, let's take that 3 instead of the 2 from 15 and help our percentage. But there is still a place for it in the game. I agree.
Yeah, and coaches look at points per possession. And so the more threes you hit, obviously it averages more points per possession. And so you want to get the most out of every time you have the ball in the front court. So that's why the three-point shot has become so valuable when you start looking at analytics.
And you see that shot a lot in the youth games that are played on the travel teams. A lot of threes being shot.
Yeah, that's where I'd like to see the mid-range. Teach them how to shoot, fundamentally shoot. A lot of these kids in the travel game at the lower levels aren't strong enough to put up those three-point shots all the time, and then they get into bad habits. You got to start them a little bit closer in. That's Coach Leonard speaking, and that's Coach Leonard's opinion.
30-22, under a minute to play before half.
And that's why I'm not coaching.
But it is something that's talked about. And there's coaches that are sitting next to each other here having some of those discussions as the interior pass to Minor is fouled. And DCG to inbound the basketball, up by 8. At this point in the first quarter, they held it for 1. They're going to go to work immediately. Back out Minor, now 3 from Lampe. Ella Lampe hits it. She now has 10. Her last 6 points have come via the 3.
Inside out. Double team, triple team came inside on Minor, and she has the great awareness and the vision to kick it back outside.
Tweet now swing over to Townsley. 10 seconds, lead up ahead, and not quite enough real estate there for Townsley to save it. And DCG will have it with 9 seconds to go, up by 11. No real urgency, but Bickford does dribble up in a hurry. 4 seconds. Lampy for 3. Got it!
That's huge. That is a big bucket because Benton Community had started creeping back into this ball game, and a couple of three-pointers to end the second quarter give the Mustangs a ton of momentum.
You see Ella Lampy there on that replay, and I was just doing a quick look at the percentages, and that's only going to help DCG now. They were at 58% from 3, now make it 62% on that 3. 8 of 13. Benton, 6 of 14 and 43%. That's a great clip too.
Both these teams shooting it very well. I just don't think that Benton has had the opportunity to get as many shots, and they aren't. They're 8 of 19 from the floor, and DCG has been able to get off 24 shots. So, but both shooting it at a very high percentage.
Dallas Center Grimes takes a 14-point lead. It was a 5-point advantage, so a huge run to end the half. We'll talk about more of the statistics when we return to the Girls State Basketball Tournament in Class 4A from Wells Fargo Arena.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present this amazing state tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders, it's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on a successful year, and remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
I hear you're looking for a great college where you can get an affordable education. SWIC is the place for you.
I appreciate the personalized attention.
And I've gotten to meet people from all around the world.
The SWIC student housing is incredible.
I like SWIC's hands-on training.
And I'll start my career in 2 years.
I can schedule my classes online or face-to-face.
SWIC feels like a community, like family,
like home. SWIC is a place for you.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics, because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
A 9-0 run to close the half puts DCG up 36-22 in this Class 4A quarterfinal. That's Laura Leonard. I'm Paul Yeager. And Laura, we spent a little bit of time in the second quarter talking about hot shooting. There's the philosophy I think we've talked about over the years of what coaches do in the regular season versus the postseason, and getting their teams ready with watching video. There's coaches that will show all of the bad plays or the mistakes in the regular season, and then as they get ready for the postseason, all they show is the shot going in. All you're going to have to do at halftime is show both of these teams, and you don't have to do much editing.
Right, absolutely. And, you know, there is mental preparation that goes into the games. It's not just a scout and watching game film. You got to mentally prepare your teams to come into this environment and be ready to play. And both of these teams are really shooting it very well. And as I mentioned before the break, it's just that Benton Community has not been able to get off as many shots. They've had a few turnovers that have allowed them to not get the shots on goal that Dallas Center Grimes is getting. And so, but you look at their shot chart, majority of them, probably about 75% from beyond the arc, 14 of their 19 shots from the floor, from three-point range. That's how they can get back into this game, and we saw them do that midway through the second quarter.
Emma Townsley with 3, McKenna Kramer 9, Jenna Tweet with 7, Zoe Junkie with 3 for Benton Community. That's 8 of 19 from the field, 6 of 14 from 3. That makes a total of 22 points. For DCG, Vanessa Bickford 7, Ella Lampy 13, 3 from Elle Nelson, and Emma Miner has 9, 4 from Finley Fitzgerald. Shooting-wise for DCG, 14 of 23, that's 61%, or 8 of 13 from 3, 62%. Turnovers, 7 for Benton, 4 for DCG. Neither team has shot a free throw, Laura. What else jumps out to you here in the stats?
Just the points off turnovers. That's 12 points off of turnovers. And so you take care of the basketball a little bit better. You're a little bit closer in this game at halftime. So, take care of the basketball in the second half. Get the ball rotation, knock down your shots, and you're going to be back in this ball game. If you're Dallas Center Grimes, continue to do what you're doing. They're working the ball inside out, and they're playing really good half-court defense.
Well, and it is featuring the Iowa girl. We've seen the Iowa girl here performing at midcourt. I believe that's North Lynn that just finished. We also saw Columbus perform. That's all part of the action here, and it wouldn't be possible without a partnership, as the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union tells us all about it right now.
I'm Lisa Brinkmeyer, here along with Brent Johnson, president of Iowa Farm Bureau. First off, we'd like to thank you for your title sponsorship of the Girls Athletic Union, as well as the 2022 Girls State Basketball Tournament. Brent, why is it important for Iowa Farm Bureau to invest in Iowa's youth?
Yeah, well, our youth is tomorrow's leaders. And, Iowa Farm Bureau, we put a lot of emphasis in that. And, every year we give $250,000 to kids in scholarships throughout the entire state. Over the last several years, we've provided almost $500,000 in teacher education and products for their classrooms. One of the things that we're really proud of is being able to take care of our students on the athletic fields as well. Iowa is one of only 7 states that even offers concussion insurance. And again, this year, Iowa Farm Bureau, we're proud to announce that at no cost to the student or their families, Iowa Farm Bureau is providing that concussion insurance for those student athletes so that they remain safe and can compete at a high level.
Fantastic.
Halftime, Class 4A, quarterfinal, game 1 of 3. We'll talk about the other 3 games and recap the rest of what has happened so far today and look ahead for the rest of the day from Wells Fargo Arena. It's the 2022 Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Basketball Tournament, the digital network, which is presented by Mid-American Energy.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars and savings.
Yes, we
are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
Sometimes people who seem to know everything
Dental insurance costs a fortune and it covers nothing.
don't. For instance, personal plans from Delta Dental cut the cost of many procedures in half. So be careful what you hear.
How important are teeth anyway?
Get the facts. Contact Delta Dental about saving with personal dental plans today.
Des Moines, the S's are silent. The fun is always loud. And now it's easy to plan your Des Moines adventure. Introducing the Catch List. A list of all things you can't miss. All the thrills, all the chills, hops and drops. Des Moines is a city of love that'll put a smile on your face. It's easy to picture yourself here. Find your adventure at catchdesmoines.com/catchlist today.
Inside Casey's. Outside Casey's. Inside Casey's. Outside Casey's. Inside. Outside. Inside. Outside. Inside. Outside. Order for curbside pickup this winter, and we'll bring your delicious Casey's Pizza order outside, so you can stay inside. Now at Casey's, buy one large pizza, get one half off. Casey's, here for staying inside. Here for good.
Class 4A quarterfinals taking place here today. Semifinals will be Thursday at 5 and 6:45. Championship will be the first game of the day on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. A game you can see on Iowa PBS, which will be called by Lauren Leonard and BJ Shaban. You'll have that one courtside for that. You'll have the 1A game to finish that night. We'll see 1A tomorrow. We'll see the rest of 4A today and a game of 2A, 2 games on 2A tonight. So this is the day where we start with 3A, go to 4A, then dip into 2A. You got to stretch your neck to keep up with everything.
You do, and they try to switch it up. I think we've kind of been on this rotation for a couple of years, but I like it that they switch things up and give every class an opportunity to play at different times throughout the state tournament.
Yeah, it used to be we went from small to large. Now we go large to small, and the reason for the 3-4 switch, I believe, is to allow sub-state games. One of the classes, I don't remember if it's the 3A or the 4A of girls, that's the same night that the boys had been to go to state. And so they've swapped that to allow not to have a game going on at the same time. I think there's been a couple of times, in fact, I think it was DCG a couple of years ago, they were playing a state tournament game and a game to go to state at the same time. And so how do you pick as a student body, or, say you're somebody who's got a child on each team?
Yeah.
You have to pick a favorite son or daughter.
And that makes sense, and you just want to make sure that you get as many people involved as possible, have as much support for the team as possible.
All right, Benton Community comes back onto the floor. They had to, you talked about them, Laura, weathering a run, but man, kind of tough what DCG did. They landed a right haymaker right before half.
They did, and they get the ball to start the second half. So you need to get a stop right here if you're Benton Community. You really do, because otherwise, if you allow them to score here in even a big bucket, even a two-pointer, that's just going to add to that little bit of fire that they had in a bucket like that to start the half. That was a perfect play to run. Coming out to start the second half, they got a nice back pick and a cut wide open underneath the basket.
Avery Korsheen starts the scoring for DCG in half number 2. And Benton early on looks like they're doing a little more cutting than they did in that first half against this DCG defense.
Well, and the pressure was not there in this first trip down the floor for Benton. So they are allowed to kind of set up, run their motion, run their cuts, and see what they can find.
Well, if this gets back to single digits, you can bet that DCG will pull that card back out of the bag. Nice drive by Jenna Tweet. She now has 9 points.
And she's the one that's going to be able to ignite them. She's their leading scorer, and so they want to get her a lot of touches here in this second half.
Mustangs swing it around. Bickford, top of the key, and we're going to have a foul on Emma Townsley, her second, on trying to fight through that pick.
And that's exactly, she was just trying to get through it, just couldn't get over the top. She couldn't get underneath of it. thought, well, I'm going to try to go through it, put both hands on, and pushed her way through it and got caught.
Am I supposed to call it a screen, though, now instead of a pick?
I call them both. I don't know if there's a term one or the other.
Bickford thought about the 3. Instead swings it around. Corshing. Now back up for Lampy. 90 seconds gone by in the third quarter. Dallas Center Grimes up by 14. Bickford, their floor general. She's the scorer and she's a defender. She's lived up to her coach's scouting report so far. And another foul called on Townsley on the defense out front. She now has 3. We didn't really have anybody with more than 1 foul coming into the half, and now Townsley's picked up 2 in the first 95 seconds.
And neither team in any danger of foul trouble. The pace and the tempo of the first half kind of led to that. There was not a whole lot of room in the middle or going into the middle, I should say, and making any kind of contact. Everything was out on the perimeter.
And Lampy was driving, and then she is fouled as she tried to get between 2 defenders. And Alyssa Tegler. And we have Townsley going out, and that is another IMTINS.com IMT Insurance substitution. Avery Corshing up at the top of the key. Bickford gets a screen. Good shift around there. Getting around it was Nelson.
Well, he did a nice job of getting in front and trying to keep the ball out of Minor's hands.
Minor, that great left fade hook forward. What do you call that shot?
Athletic.
You know, I mean.
I mean, you got to be coordinated and athletic to be able to get those kinds of shots to go.
Minor swung over to Corshing. There's lots of screen room there, daring Corshing to take that 3. You'll see that at times. Teams will double up on somebody, and it's going to be a travel there on Corshing. When you have a player that maybe in scouting says, I don't think this girl can beat us, or we think we'll take the chance that she can beat us, and you'll take your chance on maybe sag screen off somebody else or sag defense off somebody else.
Yeah, and we saw that a little yesterday in the opening game of the tournament in 5A, where Dowling Catholic chose to stay back and say to Aaliyah Riley from Johnston, go ahead and shoot that shot. Well, she figured out some ways. She shot some from the outside, but she was also able to get inside and had to make Dowling Catholic adjust that defense that they were playing and change their thinking.
Nelson misses, but the Mustangs get the rebound, and Minor's right underneath there. And going back up is Nelson. And the Bobcat fans behind us thought Grace Embretson had the position. And instead, she is going to be whistled for the foul.
I might be inclined to agree with them. The official that made that call was underneath the basket and blocked by several players. And the official out here on the wing maybe had a better look at it, but you've got to let that go when the underneath official makes that call.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how that's a shooting foul either, unless it was before the rebound, and I just missed it, and it was a late whistle. As both free throws go for Elle Nelson. She now has 5. 16-point advantage for Dallas Center Grimes. 4.5 to play, third quarter. Townsley back into the game with her 3 fouls. Cuts her way through, forces, and then, well after the shot, Minor is going to be whistled for the foul.
Well, as Townsley takes the ball down the lane, gets stopped, but a nice step-through move and ducks up and under. Drew the contact on Minor. Gets to go to the line, and we have not seen a whole lot of free throws in this ball game.
No, in fact, I think that might have been the first Benton free throw.
Yes,
and that was the second.
Yeah.
They're 0 for 2. I don't think they want to shoot anymore. So it'll remain a 16-point advantage for the Mustangs. Fitzgerald with the basketball. Thinks about the three, drives in, tries to create a little bit of space, waits for some help, gets it to Lampy. To Josie.
Good adjustment by Benton as they have been able to keep the ball out of Miner's hands for the most part. But Fitzgerald stepping outside, knocking down another big three-pointer for the Mustangs.
I have them for 8 3-pointers in this contest. 24 of their 43 points have come via three. That's 53%. We have a foul underneath.
8 of 15. They've been very selective on when they take those three-pointers, and they're knocking them down at a pretty darn good clip.
Benton to inbound. Quick catch shoot by Kramer. Rebound chase down by Townsley. Townsley, her coach calls her tough. She wasn't afraid to drive right there.
You can see the determination and has really good handles, able to get inside the defense. And there was a good look at that mid-range jumper down at the other end. She was pulled up, didn't take it all the way in and try to draw the contact. And you do see that a lot in the game. And instead of pulling up when you see that defense, a lot of players go right after the defender and either pick up a charge or draw the foul.
And, you know, that might explain, Coach also calls her a good defender. That might also explain why her face looked the way it did on a couple of those foul calls, because she's like, I did everything I was supposed to. And because, you know, when you're good at something and you know you're good at something, and you get called for it, you're like, no, wait a minute. No, that's not the way the rules are. That's not the way it's called or the way I play. But there it showed, you know, it just, you know some things when you're in the zone.
You know, as a player, you know the feel of the game, the flow of the game, and yes, there are times where you question a call from the official and it maybe doesn't go in your mind the way that is really playing out on the floor. But yeah, you understand the game and know the flow, and a quick timeout here as Benton knocks down another three-pointer. That's been the majority of their scoring here.
Kramer with the three. She now has 12, all via the three, so that's 4-3. Coach says, hey, she's really good behind the arc. And again, scouting of his own team, he knows what's going on with them and what they do. So you call the quick timeout. Benton doesn't go incredibly deep on the bench, and they're already retreating back to their side of the court. Sometimes coaches will employ some pressure, but if that's not in your DNA, you don't usually do it.
You don't want to do things at this time of the season that you have not done or you have not worked on, and maybe you just tried to implement the last week or so. You've got to make some things happen on the defensive end. You got to turn it up a notch defensively, get in the passing lanes, get your hands active, and try to get some turnovers.
We're going to have an offensive foul called underneath and away from the ball, and that's Emma Miner, I believe, and that is... No, they're going to say Finley Fitzgerald instead. Miner was the one looking at it, thinking that it was her.
And McKenna Kramer did a really good job of getting position and being able to draw that charge on Fitzgerald.
Jenna Tweet, she has 9 points, looking to add, maybe get into double figures with the runner. Won't go, gets her own rebound, put back, and that won't go. Tough shot, both of those.
Very tough, powered it up through a double team.
Got a loose ball out front, and DCG comes away with it. Kayla Rice, who checked in at the last buzzer. Miner drives, and she's fouled on her way to the basket. And I think Grace Embretson will get put into the scorebook with another foul.
That was a ball fake that was able to get the defender out of position. Miner just swept the ball one way, defense goes that way, and then the quick power drive past the defender who's out of position.
Good to see the audience building here on the digital network as the day goes on. I asked both my kids if any of their teachers had the games on in school yesterday, and neither said that they did, but I do know that it was on in other schools. And just background noise, right? Or just something to look at. Like, think of it as a window into what's going on in the outside world. That's always a big fun thing of this tournament, that when it happened midweek during the school. Finley tries to go the up and under, or Fitzgerald, that is. Yeah, Finley, Fitzgerald. And we'll have a jump ball, held ball. It'll go back towards Benton.
Well, I do want to tell you, I do know for a fact that they did have the Roosevelt game on at Hubble Elementary. They were streaming it there, and I know they had it playing at Roosevelt High School. For those that couldn't make it, had a great crowd here.
I don't know who was still left in school.
Not many. I think some of the teachers, and that was about it. But
great crowd from the Riders. We're going to have a whistle away from the ball, and that is going to be a foul on Avery Korshing. So if you can't come to the tournament, next best thing is to watch every game, right?
I did last night when I got home. Such great coverage, and it's so fun to be able to tune in and watch these games. And here I'm going to digress, but when I was growing up, if you couldn't come to the tournament, you could listen to it on the radio. I know the old-fashioned way to do it. We didn't stream back then. There were so many radio stations here covering the state tournament, and that's what you did. If there was a team you wanted to hear and listen to, you'd tune it in. Oh,
nice pass inside, but just a little too hot for Tweet. She tries to throw it off a Mustang, can't do it. Townsley, three, good. Let's see, I think you would have heard 6 announcers hanging over the balcony at
yes.
The old vets. All hear him say 3, except for years we didn't have the 3-point shot in a lot of those years at vets, but we have it now.
And both these teams are very efficient at knocking it down.
Korshing drives in. The runner from the right side. A little too strong off the glass. Townsley, she hit the last bucket for 3. Looks to pass it up this time. Jenna Tweet. Final 20 seconds of the quarter. Nice move by Tweet. She drives, and she is called for the offensive foul.
That driving lane was open for a split second. She tried to sneak through it, but it closed down so quickly that she couldn't slow up enough and picks up the charge.
Coming back in is Emma Miner, another substitution, which is brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. 13-point advantage for Dallas Center Grimes. They have the ball and 18 seconds to go in this third quarter. They led at half by 14, and that margin is kind of held here in this third quarter. Korshing, 8 seconds. Now back to Fitzgerald, 3 seconds, 2. Fitzgerald at the buzzer. And that gives Dallas Center Grimes a 15-point advantage as we go to the fourth.
We are so much more
than an energy company.
We are connectors,
community protectors,
and clean energy leaders.
We are
job creators,
friends and neighbors,
stewards of your dollars
and savings.
Yes, we.
We are so much more.
We are the energy
behind your everyday.
And we are
obsessively,
relentlessly
at your service.
It's Fairway Family Food.
We asked 100 grocery shoppers who has the best online shopping.
Fairway Meat and Grocery.
Name a reason you do your online shopping at Fairway.
Expert shoppers pick out my groceries.
Survey says
Fairway experts hand pick your groceries.
With lower prices and higher quality, everyone's a winner at Fairway.
Pick up a great deal when you shop at fairway.com today.
We already have 8 semifinalists known. We're a quarter away from number 9. Will it be number 1, Dallas Center Grimes in Class 4A, or number 8 seeded Benton Community? As we begin the fourth quarter, 45-30. Dallas Center Grimes has led the entire way. Jumped out to a big 9-0 lead. Really haven't looked back. Benton pulled it within 5, and then DCG went on a huge run. And that's kind of the way the third quarter started, and the fourth picks up right where they left off. L. Nelson.
Benton was trying to gamble a little bit, trying to get a quick steal, got out and overplayed and got beat back door.
17 is the advantage now. Townsley. Coming up is Tegeler. Tweet. Drives in, kicks. Tegeler misses. And Minor the rebound.
They've got some height in there with Tegeler. You can get her the basketball, get her in good position. She can score some high percentage shots.
Is DCG going to try to take a little clock here?
I think they'll run their motion. I think they will look to see if they can get that high percentage shot. When they have that, if they get a backdoor cut, somebody wide open, they will take it. But otherwise, I think they're just going to run through the motion. And I don't mean the motions, I mean the motion offense.
Right, correct. Had a chance to talk to a couple of the assistant coaches of DCG before the game, and my old college mate Rich Kloster, an assistant for DCG, and I just said, you know, do you get tired of coming here? He says, no, this is great. We just love the experience, and we want to make sure that, you know, everybody gets as good of an opportunity. I mean, DCG, we've seen some great games with them. They struggled to get through that first round, and then they break through. But this year, they're trying. Adam Jones is trying to take this next step with this team and get into that title game and take the trophy. You come in as the 1 seed, the target on the back we talked about in the open, Laura. And, you know, Adam Jones has a lot of fans, including his former coach, Bill Kirby, as Jones was put into the Greene County Hall of Fame earlier this year. And he got an old-fashioned letter in the mail as Nelson goes up ahead, or gets the pass, and she now has 9. And Kirby wrote and said, I'm just proud of you, and I think this team looks good, and I'm going to be watching from afar and hope you get him to the state tournament. Well, here they are, and another chance to cement his status with his coach.
And I think he actually came and made a visit to Dallas Center Grimes, and Coach Jones brought him into the locker room, and the players had a chance to meet him. He gave his words of wisdom to this team, and what a great reunion! What a great way to. And I'm a big fan of writing letters and sending stuff the old-fashioned way, and what a great way to reconnect with somebody.
Fitzgerald on the backdoor shot. Now it's up to a 23-point advantage. Just like that, this offense can score. 3 from way out and hit. McKenna Kramer now with 15.
All right, they need a few more of those and quick shots like that. At this point, you just have to figure, all right, we got to get some quick shots up. We got to get some stops. Let's fire away, knock down some threes. But boy, when you get the Mustang team, which is very hot from beyond the arc, everybody's getting into the party by knocking down three-pointers.
Kayla Rice hits the 3 for DCG. Tweet. 4.5 to play. Tweet, nice move. Mid-range jumper. Off to the left side. Rice, who just hit the 3, decided to drive, and she's fouled on her way to the basket.
Everybody that has come in for the Mustangs, they're very well versed on running this offense, looking to see what the defense is doing, seeing if they can attack, get inside, and try to get to the rim.
Rice gets the first free throw. Winner of this game will play the winner of Cedar Rapids Xavier and Central DeWitt, which is set to take the court next. And then Glenwood, Bondurant, Farrar, that's the 2-7 game. Bishop Heelan and Waverly Shellrock at 5 this afternoon. Three again. A little too strong that time from Kramer. Oh, up ahead, Nelson. Oh, what a move.
Little stutter step underneath, let the defense fly by, and Nelson just waited for her opportunity to get it off the glass.
Nice drive, and just too strong for Kramer. Oh, Nelson catches it in stride, and then the shot is blocked, and loose ball chased down again by DCG.
Just can't get to the loose balls. And those are the types of plays that Benton needs to make from here on out, needed to make early on, just getting after that loose ball. But right now, the Mustangs really getting that running game going. After the miss, they're getting the outlet pass and pushing tempo.
Laura, in the interview room, I think we're going to have to find out who is the I won't say hairstylist, but who is the who's in charge of the red dye?
How about the artist?
The artist, thank you.
How about that? With everybody's got a little bit of red dye on their ponytail, somewhere in their hair, and I think we've seen this from their softball team too, haven't we?
We've seen it from them. We've seen it from Davenport Assumption.
Yes.
We've seen it from several squads. I mean, we see Assumption a lot in that 3A softball final, and get to know a lot of those girls, and you find out, all right, who is it now? Who's in charge of the dye? And one year, if I remember correctly, some of them have on the hand. I mean, there are days where it gets long. Now, Dallas Center Grimes, they'll be at home, and they'll be there. They won't be remote like they would, say, if the tournament was somewhere farther away. So maybe, and there's also school that they have to go to. They might not have as much downtime.
Exactly, and you've got a plan, but you want to make sure you have all those fun activities happening while you're participating in the tournament, and that McKenna Kramer is doing the best that she can to try to get her team to climb back into this.
6 threes. All of her points have come from 3. All right, so Coach Zittegren talked about we have to have defensive transition and offensive patience. Final 3:07. Down the way you are, you kind of have to throw patience out the window and play a little more with like your hair's on fire.
Absolutely have to play like your hair's on fire. You just have to gamble defensively, get some steals, and then get down the court in a hurry and start firing up three-pointers. At this point, yes, you still run your offense, but you've got to run it a little quicker and a little more efficiently.
DCG making its 2nd straight state tournament appearance and 5th in school history. They returned 3 starters from last year's squad that reached the 4A semifinals, and they're 2 minutes and 53 seconds away from going back into the semifinals. All right, just time out for a moment. I just heard a new cheer at the tournament. Instead of saying, let's play football, I'm pretty sure they said, let's play Fortnite. I love the student sections and what they can come up with sometimes. Tweet, pull up, 3-throw lane, good. Jenna Tweet with 11. She's one with that all-around great basketball IQ. She knew if she could just make a move, that 15-footer was going to be there. Now she's trying to play defense. Minor kicks it back out, Nelson. And now to Korshing. If we are to believe our unofficial stats that McKenna Kramer is likely tied the Class 4A three-point record. She ties Megan Meyer from Mason City in 2019. Meyer first went to Iowa, now is at Drake, and I think, was she newcomer of the week?
She was newcomer of the week this week in the Missouri Valley Conference. Had a really nice weekend and is starting to shoot the 3 ball very well, and Tell you what, the Drake coaching staff's very happy about that. She's starting to get hot at the right time.
I should say hi to Coach Clausen if he's watching. 4A would have been his class. Free throw good by Avery Korshing. She now has 4. And now we're going to start to see a little more of the benches. As Alexa Hendricks comes in. And the free throw won't go for Korshing. Will play on. Donald in for Benton Community now.
These players that are on the floor, the student section is encouraging them to shoot it. And why not? You get the opportunity to be on the state tournament floor. Go ahead and let it fly and get your name in the scorebook.
That's Grace Embretson. Now driving is Addison Phillips, and she's fouled. Also in the game, Kennedy Donald, Emma Van Aussen. And coming in now is Tatum Schroeder and Hannah Greiner.
Well, you talked about it right at the beginning of this ballgame. A very young Benton team, only 2 seniors on this team. So all these players have the opportunity to get back here to Wells Fargo next year. And I would venture a guess and say that they will probably make that run again.
Samantha York gets the basketball back from Alexa Heinrichs. Now Heinrichs for 2. We're going to have another substitution timeout. Let 3 more Bobcats come in. Laura Jungi. And Jessa DeMoss.
I always think it's...
And that is Anna Glayway.
Great, too. I know you're losing. You're going to lose this ball game, but the opportunity to get all these kids in and get them at least a few seconds, a few minutes on the court to experience this.
York got a hand on it there and almost was on a breakaway, but couldn't quite get it back. Hoop, right out of bounds. Schroeder tried to leave it for Jungi, and just a little too much playground there. And let's see, that's Aubrey Johansson has now come in for DCG for the final 15. Trying to get all 15 on the roster into the game. Petrick is fouled, and with 1.6, he's going to get a chance to shoot some free throws. And she kind of has that look of, oh my gosh, I actually have to go to the line and shoot now. Kaylin Petrick. And we need to pick a player of the game, Laura. And there's a couple of nominees for DCG. You know, Emma Miner was big for a while. Elle Nelson, Ella Lampy. Just a lot of balanced scoring, and that's going to end this game as the heave at the buzzer is not enough. DCG advances 64-38.
A really solid performance for Dallas Center Grimes right from the very beginning. They put that pressure on. That set the tone for this team. They were able to get off to a good start, extend that lead. Even though Benton came back and made it close a little bit in the second quarter, Dallas Center Grimes had a couple of big shots right before halftime.
You could argue that that was probably the most dominant performance we've seen out of a 1 seed in the 3 1-seed games we've seen, right?
I would agree. They came out very sure of themselves, very relaxed, and ready to play basketball.
Presentation. In addition to receiving medallions, each participating player will receive a commemorative basketball provided by the Iowa Farm Bureau, proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Presenting awards from the IGHSAU are Gene Berger and Gary Ross. Congratulations to head coach Jeff Zittergruen and the Bobcats from Benton Community on an outstanding basketball season. And now, Ella Lampe will advance their team to the next round on the official bracket at center court. Mustang fans, your team advances to the 4A semifinals and will play the winner of Central DeWitt and Xavier. That will be on Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Well, these two teams played back on the 4th of December, and it was almost about the same margin, 60-27 back in December, 64-38. So Benton able to put a few more points on the board, and it was because of their Casey's player of the game, Ella Lampe, Laura.
Yeah.
3 3-pointers. It didn't lead the game in 3-pointers, but it did lead her team. What did Lampe do that stood out to you?
You know, she did a lot of little things, but she made herself available to her post players or the interior players when they got doubled down and they were able to kick the ball out to her. And she was in a very open spot. She was able to see where that spot was on the floor, got to it, her teammates found her, and she was very efficient. 3 of 5 from 3-point range.
Finished with 15 points, and that is the Casey's, and they are proud to sponsor the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Player of the Game. Casey's is at the heart of many Iowa communities, cheering on our local teams and fans and making sure there's fresh pizza ready, win or lose. Sign up for new Casey's Rewards, the rewards program that gives back by letting you redeem points for Casey's cash, fuel discounts, or donations to local schools. All right, Laura, 1 game in the books in Class 4A. You'll be back in a little bit with Glenwood and Bondurant tonight, or this afternoon at 3:15. But up next, it's Cedar Rapids Xavier and Central DeWitt. Dallas Center Grimes 64, Benton Community 38. This has been a presentation of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union on the digital network. In Class 4A, we have 1 semifinalist. The 1 seed advances. Thank you for watching. So long from Wells Fargo Arena.